It begins not in the light, but in the silence of everything you've avoided. You clicked this video because you're one of them, the rare few who feel the pull of ancient power through the chaos of modern noise. You've never fit in, have you? You've walked in rooms where everyone smiles, but something inside you whispers, this isn't real. That whispers the call. And what you're about to witness is the unraveling of that call into 7 vibration shifts that only the dark chosen ones can truly embody. You're not here by accident. And by the end of this, you won't just walk differently, you will bend reality. I was in the jungle for 8 days without food, barely any water, and no contact with the outside world. The mind plays games with you in those places. But it's in that vulnerability that I discovered the first shift. You have to destroy the lie that you need permission to become powerful. You don't. You never did. The world taught you to bow, to obey, to be small. But the first vibration shift is remembering you were born with authority. Authority over your own frequency, over your own outcomes. And until you claim that, miracles will remain distant myths. So I ask you, what chains have you chosen to keep on because they feel familiar? That job you hate, that relationship that drains you, that loop in your head that says, you're not ready. What if I told you none of that belongs to you? The first vibration shift is brutal. It requires you to sever your identity from your history. You must die before you awaken. That's not metaphor. That's spiritual law. The chosen ones are forged in the fire of ego death, not lit candles and soft mantras. You want miracles? Let go of everything you think you are.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
When you release the lie, the second vibration shift arrives like a thunderclap in your chest. You begin to feel your own energetic field stretch beyond your skin. You notice how people react to you without you saying anything. You walk into rooms and the air changes. Not because you're trying, but because you've stopped hiding. This shift is the embodiment of presence. Presence is magnetic. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain. It doesn't perform. It simply is. Miracles are drawn to presence because miracles are expressions of alignment. When you are fully here, the universe doesn't have to search for you. It meets you. But here's the secret they never told you: presence requires pain. You must feel everything. The numbness you've cultivated to survive, it blocks miracles. You can't be selective with your emotions. You want to feel joy, ecstasy, divine purpose? Then you must be willing to feel rage, grief, and betrayal in their full textures. Every emotion is a vibration. The dark chosen ones don't run from their darkness. They alchemize it. So ask yourself, what are you still refusing to feel? That's the gate you haven't walked through yet. Then comes the third vibration shift, the collapse of linear time. You begin to realize that manifestation isn't about effort or hustle. It's about alignment with timelines that already exist. You don't create miracles, you tune into them. They exist in frequencies you've been too distracted to perceive. The moment you stop believing in time as a master and start using it as a tool, reality bends. You meet the right person at the right moment, and the opportunity calls. The money appears, not because you begged for it, but because you finally matched its vibration. This is where most people get scared. They see a glimpse of power and retreat. They go back to the safety of schedules, logic, and 5-year plans. But you're not most people. You're watching this because you've already tasted the edge. And now the edge is calling you to jump. The dark chosen ones live in the quantum. They understand that choosing a new identity, a new vibration, a new belief instantly shifts their trajectory. So what belief are you still holding onto like a shield? Is it serving you, or is it simply familiar? The fourth vibration shift is the detachment from external validation. This is the one that hurts the most. Because we've been programmed to seek approval like oxygen. But the moment you stop caring whether they understand you, like you, support you, or even love you, that's the moment you become unstoppable. Miracles are not democratic. They don't require consensus. They require conviction. And conviction is born in solitude. You will lose people. You will be misunderstood. But you will gain power. And that power will attract everything you once thought you had to chase. So I ask again, whose voice is still louder than your own? Is it your parents? Your ex? Your inner critic that sounds like someone who once humiliated you? Silence it, not by fighting it, but by replacing it with the voice of your higher self, the one who already knows how this ends, the one who already lives inside the miracle, the one who's been waiting for you to remember who you are. This shift is the transcendence of noise. And once you transcend, you become the signal. Then, the fifth vibration shift activation through service. Not self-sacrifice, not martyrdom, but divine service. The paradox is that when you stop making it about you, you unlock the universe's support. You were never supposed to do this alone. Your gifts, your pain, your visions, they're not just for you. They're keys. And someone else is locked in a prison only your frequency can unlock. When you begin to serve the collective through your authenticity, miracles become your currency. You become a vessel, not just a seeker. But this only works if you're real. Fake service is manipulation. Authentic service is frequency. And frequency doesn't lie. That's why the dark chosen ones are feared. They don't speak to impress. They speak to awaken. Every word, every action carries code. And those who are asleep feel it as discomfort. But those who are ready, they feel it as fire. So who are you really serving right now, your ego or your mission? Now we approach the sixth vibration shift, radical receptivity. Most people unconsciously reject miracles because they've built their identity around struggle. Have you? Have you made suffering your home? If so, you'll sabotage every breakthrough, because receiving requires surrender. And surrender is terrifying for the mind that only trusts control. But here's the truth. The miracle is already here. You're just too full of old energy to receive it. Empty yourself. Release the need to understand everything. Open to the possibility that something beyond logic is orchestrating your path. The dark chosen ones live in surrender, not weakness, but trust. Trust in their own vibration. Trust in the unseen. Trust in their alignment. This is how you become a miracle magnet. Not by doing more, but by becoming more. Not by effort, but by expansion. And finally, the seventh vibration shift, sovereignty. This is the full embodiment of your divine authority. Not the authority given by titles, followers, or money, but the authority that comes from knowing you are the source. You are not waiting for permission. You are not begging the universe. You are the universe, remembering itself in real time. That knowing changes everything. You stop asking. You start commanding not from ego, but from alignment. This is the frequency that bends reality, that heals timelines, that calls in synchronicities like clockwork. You don't just attract miracles, you embody them. People will feel it. They'll stare without knowing why. They'll follow you without needing explanation. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered. And the only way to be remembered is to become unforgettable. So I'll ask you again, for the final time in this part, are you ready to let go of who you were to become what you already are? You've made it through the threshold not everyone dares to cross. This is where the path becomes less visible, less comfortable, and far more potent. The vibration shifts we've begun to explore aren't just ideas, they are initiations. And just by continuing, you've already signaled to the universe that you're no longer asleep, that you're no longer willing to live halfway. From this point on, every word is a key, and every insight is a mirror. So listen not just with your ears, but with the part of you that remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. Let's go deeper into the first vibration shift, because many believe they've broken free when they've only changed cages. Most people escape one form of control just to adopt another that feels more spiritual, more socially acceptable, more palatable. But true authority comes when you no longer need to justify your evolution. You do not need to explain your power, your growth, or your decisions to anyone. You do not need to advertise your awakening. The world feels it before you even open your mouth. That kind of energy cannot be faked. It is carved through fire, through loss, through solitude, and through relentless self-honesty. So ask yourself, what identity are you still clinging to because it makes others comfortable? Are you still playing small so your light doesn't blind those who fear their own? Are you still using humility as a disguise for fear? Real humility is knowing you're a god and choosing to serve anyway. Real power is knowing you can destroy and choosing to heal. The first vibration shift demands you stop playing roles and start remembering your essence. It's not about becoming something new. It's about shedding everything you never were. And when you do, the channel for miracles opens like a portal in your chest. Now let's return to the second vibration shift, presence. It's become a buzzword, hasn't it? But presence isn't about calm breathing or Zen music. Presence is about being so anchored in your truth that nothing outside of you can pull you off course. It's about walking through chaos and remaining the eye of the storm. It's about facing confrontation, rejection, failure, and not flinching. When you are truly present, you don't need to defend yourself. Your vibration does it for you. People feel it. Animals feel it. Nature bends toward it. Miracles rush toward it, because miracles don't exist in fear-based timelines. They only occur where faith lives. And faith isn't blind. It's built. It's built through lived experience, through testing the unseen, through risking your comfort for your calling. Presence is not passive. It is active stillness. It's the art of being fully in this breath while holding the infinite in your awareness. The dark chosen ones do not live in the future or the past. They live where the veil is thinnest now. Are you here now, or are you still replaying a conversation from last week, anticipating a problem that hasn't arrived? Every moment you're not present, you're robbing yourself of a miracle that only exists in this second. Let's move into the third vibration shift again, collapsing time. You've been told things take time. But what if time takes things from you? What if time is the greatest illusion keeping you from the miracle that already exists? The chosen know time is elastic. It bends to belief. Your belief is the command. When you are aligned with the truth of your being, time becomes irrelevant. The right person shows up out of nowhere. The healing happens overnight. The money comes without struggle. Because you're not chasing, you're choosing the timeline where it already exists. But here's the paradox. You can't force your way into that timeline. You surrender your way into it. You calibrate your vibration, and the timeline reveals itself. You don't run toward it. You become it. That's why the inner work is everything. The timelines you attract are not based on your desires, they're based on your frequency. You can want something deeply, but if your vibration is rooted in lack, you'll keep meeting walls. Miracles don't come to the desperate. They come to the aligned. So ask yourself, are you trying to force the outcome, or are you calibrating to it? Revisiting the fourth vibration shift, detachment from validation. This is where many fall. Because the hunger to be seen, loved, and understood is primal. But that hunger, when unchecked, becomes a leash. And you cannot rise skyward while someone else holds your leash. You must choose your freedom over your likability. You must choose your truth over your popularity. And you must choose your evolution over your acceptance. The moment you require nothing from others, you become magnetic. Because you are no longer leaking energy trying to prove your worth. You're embodying it. And the irony is, the more you detach from needing approval, the more people are drawn to you. Why? Because they feel the rarest energy of all sovereignty. People don't trust words. They trust frequency. And the frequency of someone who validates themselves is undeniable. They stand differently. They speak with a calm power. They make decisions without over-explaining. They walk away without guilt. They say no without apology. That's the frequency that commands miracles. Not because they're better than others, but because they've remembered they were never less. Now, the fifth vibration shift, activation through service, requires a nuance few understand. Service is not about sacrifice. If service drains you, it's not service, it's self-betrayal. True service energizes you. It flows from your overflow, not your wounds. The dark chosen ones understand that their life is a message. Their healing is not just for them, it's a roadmap for others. And so they share. Not from ego, not for applause, but because their cup is so full, it spills naturally. They move through the world leaving codes behind through their words, their presence, their art, their silence. But to serve from overflow, you must first heal. You must first fill the well. That means boundaries. That means rest. That means saying no to what drains and yes to what expands. You cannot save others while abandoning yourself. That's false light. That's savior complex. True service honors self and others equally. So ask yourself, are you giving from guilt or from alignment? Are you helping to earn worth, or because you already know you're divine? Your answer will determine whether you attract chaos or miracles. The sixth vibration shift, radical receptivity, requires you to become a sacred vessel. Most people are clenched in their thoughts, their judgments, their expectations. And clenched energy cannot receive. To receive miracles, you must soften, you must open, you must become available. Not just physically, but energetically. That means releasing the need to know how, when, and where. That means trusting the mystery. That means replacing control with curiosity. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to openness. And openness is not weakness. It's the greatest strength. Because it means you trust the infinite intelligence of life more than your limited mind. You trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. You trust that detours serve a purpose. You trust that delays are divine. You trust that rejection is redirection. This kind of trust is a portal. It shifts your entire frequency. And that frequency becomes a gravitational pull for miracles. Not because you begged for them, but because you became the space for them. And now we return to the final shift, sovereignty. This is the crown, the completion, the full embodiment of your divine nature. Sovereignty doesn't mean isolation. It means inner authority. It means you consult your soul before the crowd. It means you honor your vision even when no one claps. It means you walk your path whether it's paved or not. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You've already chosen yourself. That's when miracles stop becoming rare. They become normal. They become the natural outcome of a sovereign being walking in alignment. The world bends for the sovereign, not because they demand it, but because they command it through presence, intention, and integrity. So I leave you with this question. If you were fully sovereign, no fear, no doubt, no apology, what would you create? What would you say? Who would you become? If you've come this far, congratulations, you are not just watching a video. You are undergoing a transformation. You are not consuming content, you are decoding your destiny. Most people turn back before this stage, distracted by the noise of life, seduced by comfort, or terrified by the truth of their own power. But you kept going. That means something ancient is waking up inside you. That means you are ready to embody the 7 vibration shifts, not just understand them. This final part is not about learning, it's about activation. Let it sink in. Let it rewire you. Let's begin by returning to the first shift, destroying the lie that you need permission to be powerful. Power doesn't wait for a diploma. It doesn't arrive after enough meditations, enough followers, enough books read. It arrives the moment you decide to stop outsourcing your authority. You've been taught to wait for the perfect moment, the right sign, the green light from someone more qualified. But waiting is the slow death of destiny. The miracle starts the moment you say, I'm done waiting. That decision is frequency. That frequency is magnetic. That magnetism changes everything. But even deeper than that, the first shift reveals a truth few dare admit. You enjoy your limitations. They protect you. They give you an excuse. They let you stay small while blaming the world. What if that trauma, that heartbreak, that failure you secretly used it to justify your hesitation? The dark chosen ones know this game. We've played it too, until we realized that no amount of pain gives us the right to stay asleep. So we woke up, and when we did, we tore off every label society gave us and wrote a new story. That's when the miracles came, not because we earned them, but because we finally aligned with them. Now the second shift, presence, takes on a new meaning. Presence is not just being here. It is being fully here without resistance. That means you stop hiding your emotions beneath distractions. You stop filling silence with noise. You stop avoiding the now, because the now is where the pain is. But here's the paradox. The pain is not the problem. Your resistance to it is. When you drop the resistance, you discover something shocking. Beneath the pain is power. Beneath the fear is fire. Beneath the grief is gold. And when you sit in full presence with yourself, the universe responds in ways that shock the mind but feel like home to the soul. Have you ever noticed that when you're truly present, time slows down? That's not imagination. That's physics of the soul. Presence bends time because it takes you out of survival mode. It returns you to divine mode. And in divine mode, you don't chase, you attract. People feel safe around you. Opportunities unfold without effort. Why? Because your frequency says, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm whole. And wholeness is irresistible to the universe. It cannot help but bring you more of what matches that wholeness. Now, the third shift, collapsing time, becomes not just a theory, but a daily practice. You realize you are no longer bound by what they told you is realistic. You don't have to wait 5 years to be successful. You don't have to suffer for decades to heal. You don't have to climb a ladder to become influential, because you are accessing the version of you that already has it. You're tuning into that parallel self and aligning your thoughts, speech, and actions with that timeline. And as you do, the world rearranges itself to meet you there. But here's the catch. You cannot fake this. You cannot say affirmations while vibrating in fear. You cannot visualize abundance while clinging to scarcity. The universe doesn't hear your words. It hears your state. So you must live as if it's already done. Not because you're pretending, but because you know it's already happened in another dimension. You're not manifesting. You're choosing. You're not hoping. You're remembering. That memory is what collapses time. That vibration is what births miracles. And so we revisit the fourth shift, detachment from validation. This is where the dark chosen ones become warriors. Because we stop needing the world to reflect our worth. We stop giving power to opinions. We stop shrinking to fit the room. And we stop explaining ourselves to those committed to misunderstanding us. Detachment is freedom. Detachment is clarity. Detachment is divinity. When you no longer need them to approve, you become unshakable, and that's when miracles start chasing you. Ask yourself, who are you performing for? Who are you still trying to impress, convince, or win over? And what if you stopped? What if you simply lived as if you were already chosen, because you are? That's not arrogance. That's alignment. And alignment is the language of the cosmos. When you speak it fluently, reality responds with synchronicity, opportunity, and grace. Not because you begged, but because you finally became the version of you who receives it. Fifth shift again, activation through service. Let's be real. Most people want to serve, but they want to serve from their wounds, not their wisdom. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it drains them. That's why they burn out. The dark chosen ones don't serve from emptiness. We serve from embodiment. We don't preach what we haven't lived. We don't teach what we haven't bled for. And because of that, our service is alchemical. It transforms not just others, but ourselves. You want to attract miracles? Then become a miracle for someone else. Not to get something, but because that's who you are. The act of giving from alignment is not a loss, it's an expansion. It tells the universe, I have more than enough. And the universe answers, then here is more. But again, it must be pure. Pure service, not performance. Pure intention, not manipulation. Pure love, not codependency. That's the vibration that shifts not just your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. And now, the sixth shift, radical receptivity. This one is subtle, but life-changing. You've been taught to grind, to hustle, to earn your worth. But what if your only job is to receive? What if the miracle is already at your door, but you're so busy trying to prove yourself that you never open it? Receiving is an art. It's not passive. It's not lazy. It's feminine in energy, but warrior in discipline. Because it takes courage to believe you're worthy of ease. It takes power to relax into abundance. It takes faith to let go of control. So how do you receive? You empty. You forgive. You soften. You breathe into the parts of you that still doubt, and you say, we are safe now. You create space in your mind, your body, your home, your heart. You stop filling the void with distractions, arguments, and tasks. And you let the miracle arrive on its own terms. That's how it works. That's how it always worked. You just forgot. But now you remember. And now you receive. Finally, we arrive at the seventh vibration shift, sovereignty. This is the full circle. The place where you no longer seek the light, you are the light. You no longer seek the miracle, you embody it. You no longer seek the answer, you become it. Sovereignty means you no longer fear outcomes. You create outcomes. You no longer fear rejection. You command respect. You no longer fear loss. You own your path. The sovereign walks alone but never lonely, because they are supported by the unseen. They are guided by the divine. They are rooted in truth. When you are sovereign, you are free from guilt, free from shame, free from comparison. You are no longer in the matrix. You are no longer in the maze. You are home, within yourself. And from that place, miracles are not just possible, they are inevitable. So now the final question, if you truly understood that you are the miracle, what would you stop waiting for? What would you stop fearing? What would you finally choose to become? You are the frequency. You are the portal. You are the chosen. And your time is now.